today. Right. Hello, Dave. So this is going to be the first episode of a series of podcasts that we're going to be doing at Predator Nutrition. We're going to be featuring CEOs of brands, athletes, prominent figures in bodybuilding, and I guess just delve into mostly the supplement side of things, but also a little bit more about their own backgrounds, about bodybuilding, about training, about certain principles that they follow and advocate. And who better to start with than Dave Palumbo, a man who probably needs no introduction. The man behind Species Nutrition, behind RX Muscle, ridiculous, really good bodybuilder, probably one of the hugest, most nutty physiques anyone's ever seen. But I'm sure Dave can tell you more about that as we go on. We are going to start off and just speak a little bit about Species Nutrition. Obviously, that's what's brought us together here today. Species are exclusive to Predator Nutrition in the UK and I believe Europe. And as far as I know, we have just placed an order. So very shortly, we should be all stocked up on your products again. No, I was listening to RX and you'd mentioned that we don't ever order enough.
No, you guys never do, which is a good thing, which means that more and more people are buying it. But I am always getting the people in Europe yelling at me saying, Predator's out of this or Predator's out of that. I'm like, don't worry. It's on its way. It's on its way. So yeah, you guys have to stay well stocked because we have a lot of very loyal Species customers in Europe that use Predator Nutrition as their source of Species.
Yeah, I see it all the time, people looking for Farbalize in the UK because, you know, the second it's out of stock, it's so hard for interest to get. I mean, I know I always make sure to place an order as soon as it arrives in the warehouse myself. I've just got my hands on some of the banana Carbalize for the first time. I'm looking forward to giving that a go shortly.
Have you guys got the iced tea Amino Evolved yet there?
You know, I don't think we have.
I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this. Forget the fact that it's a fermented amino acid product, which is amazing, obviously, because very few people use fermented aminos. Most people just use the aminos that they get from human hair cells and Chinese barbershops. Forget that. This is the best tasting, seriously, the best tasting iced tea you will ever drink. And it's got 0 carbs in it, 0 sugar. It's so good that my kids drink it. My 3-year-old, my 1-year-old, my 5-year-old, they don't want to drink like sugar drinks. They rather have that. That's how good this stuff is. I
mean, I'm dieting at the moment, so good tasting supplements are a must.
Oh my God, you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna be like, I can't believe how good this. You're gonna swear there's sugar in there. That's how good it tastes.
I'm really looking forward to cracking open this Carbalize. I was looking, to be honest, on a website, and there's not really any reference to this, but I'm planning to use the intra-workout in place of highly branched cyclic dextrin. Is that something you would rate?
Yeah, a lot of people, have tried it. The problem is that there's not a lot of information out there. People think that the highly branched cyclodextrins are really, really good. I mean, they're basically sugar molecules linked together. It's awesome for people who are like endurance cyclists and stuff like that. So if you're like cycling like 50 miles and you have like a water bottle on your thing and you put some cyclic dextrin there and you sip in that, it's good because your body can kind of assimilate that, as you're doing the ride. For people who are bodybuilders, I like the high molecular weight carbohydrates better because they don't bother your stomach as much. I really like them pre and post workout. If you're going to do them intra-workout, you should dilute them a little bit more with a little extra water. You don't want them quite so concentrated. Like post-workout, I'll do a scoop and a half, in 6 ounces of water with my isolyze and gulp it down. But you're not going to do that obviously while you're training because while you're training, you want to hydrate while you're actually adding carbohydrates too. So you want to make it more dilute. What I would probably do is put maybe like a half a scoop of the Carbalize with like a scoop of the Amino Evolved in a big thing of water and sip that the whole workout. So you're getting a little bit of carbs and you're getting the aminos. Now, if you're dieting, I probably wouldn't use any carbs, if I'm dieting while I'm training, because you want to really make sure that you're using stored body fat. So while dieting, I would just do the Amino Evolved,
I'm going to have to try that stack with the Amino Evolved. Now we've got a new flavor out.
Oh, it's terrific. You're going to go crazy. I'm telling you, it tastes this. The strawberry watermelon flavor is really good too. But I'm telling you, I really love iced tea. And this sample came to, I'm very tough on my manufacturers because I demand like perfection. And they sent me several samples. And when I got this sample of the iced tea, I said to my wife, I said, Amanda, I said, we got to make this. This is the best iced tea I've ever tasted. And like I said, I'm an iced tea connoisseur. You know, you're going to think you're drinking like country time iced tea. And there's, like I said, 0 carbs, 0 sugar in there.
For us guys in the UK as well, it's not a flavour that we really see.
You
So
guys
yeah,
love
I mean,
tea
I'm
over
sure
there.
people go pretty mad for that.
I should send some to the Queen of England over there. You guys love your tea in England.
Tea
I
is
would think
something
that
we
would be.
have with milk.
Oh, well, that's all right. You have to, yeah, you know, as a bodybuilder, you have to make some accommodations. You know, we love to put milk in coffee here too, but you know, when you're bodybuilding, you drink your coffee, you know, black, you know, with a little sweetener, a little artificial sweetener in there.
I can't tell you the last time that I went to a Starbucks and got an actual, you know, frothy, aesthetically pleasing Instagram coffee.
Yeah.
When
You
it's
guys
summer,
have
I'll treat
Starbucks.
myself and get a cold brew.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? My favorite Starbucks drink when I would do contest prep would be iced Americanos, because I would get just like an iced venti, which would be the largest one. And it would be basically espresso shots that were cold over ice, and they would add water to it. And it would become like a very strong iced coffee almost. And I'd put a couple of packets of like, you know, stevia or a Splenda in there, something like that. And I would literally think that I was drinking like an ice cream sundae. That's how good it tasted.
I'm so glad that you said the sweetener, because I was just thinking like I am typical female competitor and I would pour so much sugar-free syrup in there.
No, you can't put the, because you know what people don't understand, sugar-free syrup is actually not carb-free. So even even at Starbucks there, when they say, oh, you want sugar-free is not carb-free, they put a ton of sugar alcohols in there, and your body can use that as fuel. So if you're dieting, it'll definitely sabotage your diet. So just use like I said, they have the stevia packets there. You can use the Splenda packets as long as you're not using a million of them. Because what people don't realize is that sucralose doesn't have any calories and it's not absorbable. But when they put it into that little packet, like, and they call it Splenda, they add a gram of maltodextrin in each packet. So if you were to put 10 packets, you know, of the stuff into your coffee, into a big thing, iced coffee, you're actually adding 10 grams of like sugar to your coffee. I mean, so a lot of people don't realize that. Now, if you use 1 or 2 packets, it's not a big deal. So a lot of times I'll recommend that people use like a product, like if you like to make your stuff really sweet while you're dieting, get Stevia Balance. It's made by that NOW company. And they use inulin fiber instead of maltodextrin. So they put stevia with inulin fiber. It has the same taste, but inulin fiber, because as we know, fiber is not absorbable. So you're not getting any calories out of it or any carbs out of it, you know, or any net carbs, I should say, out of it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we've both seen from especially your bikini girls who all of a sudden have IBS when they're on prep because they're living on sugar-free Jello and gum
Oh my
and
God.
diet
You know what?
drinks.
I used to, when I would,
bellies.
I made the mistake too once. They probably still sell it. They used to sell, when I was competing, they had no Splenda, or sucralose. It was just aspartame. And they would sell like jars, like of just pure, it was almost like sugar. It was like powderized aspartame basically. And I would literally sit there and eat it. Like,
yes,
you know, like eat it like
spoon,
sugar.
Dip it in,
Yeah.
and then lick it off the spoon.
Yes. Yeah. And I would do that because I would be so hungry. And as you know, if you do too much of anything this side of it, I would get like a headache. I would feel terrible. I would get like like you said, I'd get my bowel would bother me because it was just too much, you know. But people do crazy things when they're dieting. Believe me, I tried all those tricks. Believe me, diet soda. I would drink so much diet soda and so much coffee that I literally could sit on the toilet and never get off the toilet. Just keep peeing continuously. You know, that's how much liquid I had in me.
I mean, we've all done it, and especially first couple of years of competing, you do anything to not actually feel hungry until you realize, exactly. This is the point. I need to feel really hungry. Okay.
The best thing I can tell you is get the heck out of the house. When you're that hungry, do not stay home. Walk around the neighborhood. I used to clean closets in my house. I would clean my bedroom. I would reorganize, you know, dishes, whatever you can do to just pass the time until your next meal comes up, you know.
You do that, all of a sudden your day becomes like 3-hour shifts between the meals. So like, what can I do for 3 hours? Yeah. Oh, I've not cleaned that cupboard out in 2 years.
What a lot of people do though is, I don't know if you tried making my fiber lies like Jello?
No, but I mean, I've done it. You know, so when you let it settle and you like, it's kind of goes to gum.
Try this. Take the fiber lies, you know, put about 4 to 6 ounces of water. Put a scoop in there, mix it around. Instead of gulping it down like normally you would do, put it in the refrigerator for like 20 minutes. And it literally, and when you eat it, you'll think you're eating Jell-O, and it tastes really good. It doesn't taste gritty at all because all that water will have absorbed into the psyllium, and obviously it's got a very good flavor. So you'll swear. I actually even have some people that freeze it, put it in the freezer, and eat it like ices. But I think it tastes pretty good as Jell-O. When you're dieting, it'll taste delicious. When you're not dieting, maybe not so delicious.
I mean, I'm still a good 18 or so weeks out, but when we get to that final few weeks, this is going in. I'm going to tell people
it's like you got an extra 2 meals a day. If you're doing 2 servings of Fiberlife, you actually can make yourself 2 Jell-Os a day with that stuff, and it kind of can bridge the gap between when you're really hungry.
I'm going to have to get on this one. I mean, we're going to have to bring it all the way back, I guess, to the what and why of Species, because I know around the time that you were setting Species up, I'm sure you probably could have had your pick of sponsorships and free products and been sent any isolate, any amino acid product, any joint product that you wanted at that time. What was it that drove you to go, do you know what, no, actually there's a need for these products that I'm working on?
Well, the problem was I couldn't find what I wanted. In other words, I was trying to customize exactly what I wanted for myself and what I was advising my clients who I was coaching at the time. And there was no products that fit the bill. I had to give everyone like 20 bottles to different generic products to kind of make what was perfect. And and even then I couldn't get what I wanted. I said, well, why don't I just make I had stopped competing at that point. I said, why don't I just make my own products? I'll customize them exactly the way I want them. And this way I can use them myself, which is obviously if you're going to have your own nutrition line, if you don't use your own products, that's pretty pathetic, obviously. And then also I can just plug them right into my clients, my bodybuilders and all the people I work with, right into their nutritional programs. It'll be a no-brainer. And that's what I did. I set out to make a month's supply at every bottle of what people need. And I said, I'm not going to make stuff that people don't need. I'm not going to make the luxury items until I've made all the products that people need. So I made the Mineralize, which was the vitamin mineral mix using all chelated minerals, which we know are way more absorbable than regular minerals. We used vitamins in real effective dosages. And I even put antioxidants in there and plant extracts like, lycopene from tomatoes and blueberry extract. And I made sure I fortified it with a lot of kelp for to the iodine for your thyroid gland. I really researched this exactly what people needed. And the only thing I probably would have added more of now that I look back is I probably should have put a little bit more vitamin D in it, but not everyone has the same requirements. So I put 2,000 units, which is pretty good. I usually tell people to take an extra 5,000 on top of that. But I mean, aside from that, the thing is it's perfect. And, anyone who takes them, I have a lot of clients that are really good bodybuilders and they're like telling me, oh, I said, what do you take for a multivitamin? They're like, I take like a 1-a-day Centrum or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? The reason why Demineralize is 10 pills a day, 5 pills twice a day, is because you can't physically jam that much material into 1 capsule or 2 capsules. You're never going to get an effect. You're going to get like what we call pixie dust, where they kind of sprinkle a little of this, a little of that, and there's no effective dosage of anything. So that was a really tough product to make, because I wanted to keep it at least no more than 10 pills, and I had to really figure it out perfectly. Likewise, the essential fatty acid supplement Omega-Lyze was really important because no one got enough essential fats. It's really hard to eat these fats in your diet, and no company actually had combined an animal source of essential fats like fish oil with a plant source of fats, which was evening primrose oil. So I had to find someone who would make me my own custom formula, because I think to this day, no one does it. I'm the only one who does it. So we did that. We found a company to make it, and we produced probably the best essential fatty acid supplement out there. And these are the 2 most important things. And then, of course, a fiber supplement that actually worked, the high swell rate psyllium. No one has a high swell rate psyllium, even Metamucil doesn't. And it had to taste good, and it had to also have a source of insoluble fiber in this. So we got a dual fiber supplement with soluble and insoluble coming from psyllium with a high swell rate. And so that was something that no one had made. And it was funny because a lot of people advised me not to make a fiber supplement. They're like, no one was going to buy a fiber supplement. I said, I don't care. It's something that everyone needs. And once they start using it, they're going to realize they need it. And it caught on. It's our best selling product now. So, I'm pretty happy. Those were the first 3 products I produced because I felt those were necessary. Then I produced my joint product, Arthrolyze, which obviously everyone has sore joints. I mean, that works amazing. It's a really high potency, high effective dose. And then, of course, the fat burners came along and the protein powders. But those are luxury items. Those are things that you don't necessarily need, but most people use. So I wanted to make the stuff that people absolutely need first, the most imperative ones. Then make the stuff that people actually like and want to use. And then the fun stuff comes afterwards, and that's why we reformulated our pre-workout. That'll be out probably in another 6 months or so. And, that's an ultimate luxury item, but it has to work. And so I've been experimenting with different versions for the last 2 years. We used to have a product called Nitrolyze. The new pre-workout is going to be called Stimulyze, actually. So
I feel like you spoke that like a true bodybuilder. I mean, a lot of these new brands do look for what products will sell the most and what can we make cheaply and have the most margin on, which generally is going to be something like a high stim pre-workout. And then you'll maybe move on to something like your EAAs, your creatine, your glutamine. You are seeing it as, okay, you are a bodybuilder who takes things very seriously. What issues do we have? What gets flagged up in blood work? I mean, God, how many bodybuilders have issues with the lipid panel? I mean, you must have one of the most solid omega products that you can possibly buy for that.
Thank you. You know what the funny thing is? I won't even make. So I had I'm not going to mention who, but there was a company overseas that had, and one of the not in the Europe, in the Middle East, who had asked me for a glutamine product, and I said I won't make it. They're like, it's one of our best sellers over here. I said it doesn't do anything. I said it's not. It doesn't get absorbed by muscle cells. It's good for your intestinal tract. I mean, if you have like colitis or something like that, I said, but it doesn't do anything for body. I'm not selling a product. He goes, yeah, but we'll sell a ton of it. I said, I don't care. I said, I can't recommend a product that doesn't really do anything for bodybuilders. It's a waste of a product, so I'm not against it. I mean, people use it, who have like some digestive, or intestinal lining problems, but I mean, so many people, especially I noticed in India, that's really big, use glutamine like it's like water. And they don't even realize that if you take too much glutamine, it actually turns into carbohydrates, which causes insulin release, which is, if you're trying to diet and you're trying to lose weight, you're taking all this extra glutamine, you're actually sabotaging your diet with it. So there are products that are good sellers on the market that I don't sell because I don't think the science is there and they're not warranted, so that's been always my thing. I'm not in. Everyone wants to make money, of course, but I'm not in it because I want to make money. I'm in it because I want to produce a good, high quality supplement line. If I can make some money off of doing something good and providing something that's the best out there, then that's the best of both worlds, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the glutamine, I'm seeing. I'm not sure if it's the same over there, but there's a lot of bodybuilders this way at the moment who are using it the way that people used to use creatine, using upwards of 20 gram a day because they're convinced that that's the answer to the gut problems that they're having.
But you know what? The funny thing is, a lot of people, if you ask them why they're taking glutamine, because my coach told me, or because everyone uses it. They don't even know why they're using it. They don't even know what it does. They don't even have any clue about what glutamine does. And they don't even realize that it converts to glucose very readily in the system. And they don't even realize that it's not even an essential amino acid. The body can make tons of glutamine. The best way to have high glutamine inside your muscle is not to take a glutamine supplement. It's actually to eat a high protein diet, So once again, there's an education curve here. And that's what I'm always trying to do, is educate people as to why you need a fiber supplement, why you need a high potency joint repair product that with, at least four grams of glutamine a day. With the 4 grams of glucosamine a day. People don't know. They don't know the difference between the highest grade whey isolate and a whey concentrate. They don't understand the idea that, when you get a cheap whey protein, you're paying for lactose. And, lactose is milk sugar, and most people can't digest that. And if you don't digest the stuff and you ferment it in your gut, you wind up malabsorbing a lot of the protein. So there is a difference between a high quality whey isolate like Isolyze and a low quality, whey concentrate like they sell in, these, supermarkets, or Walmart or whoever, wherever you shop, and you're paying $25 for 5 pounds of the stuff. And then you want to know why the other ones are so expensive. Well, with protein, you get what you pay for. That's really the truth, And
I think anyone who's switched from more of a budget brand to a high quality brand they will see that pretty much instantly. I mean, I know for
Immediately,
me,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of us are having weight around our workouts. Essentially, if you're having, your cream of rice and your whey protein, then you go train, you're going to know about it if it's rubbish quality. You're going to be drinking
Yeah.
pre-workout and you're going to be straight in that bathroom.
I can't tell you how many people, have come to me and said, oh, because I do diets for people, obviously, and they're like, I can't use any whey protein in my diet. I'm allergic to it, or whatever they make. I've said, have you used what kind of, and they tell me that the protein they're using, and I've said, you know what, I'm going to send you a couple sample packets of mine. Try it and tell me if it bothers your stomach. And then they, amazingly, a week later, they're like, this stuff doesn't bother my stomach. I don't understand it. I said, no, all whey protein is not equal. The whey protein you're buying bothers your stomach, but when you use a high-grade whey isolate that has basically eliminated all the lactose, then you don't have a problem usually.
And I guess, I mean, I assume you probably, I mean, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I'm sure it was always the goal. Species has boomed since you started it. I mean, I'm sure you'll have always had massive aspirations for the brand and wanted it to be the worldwide thing that it is. But as it has grown, have you continued to be as hands-on as you were in the beginning? I mean, I guess I can probably already answer that, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Well, I would never take her. My wife runs the whole company. So she does all the order processing and the ordering of the products. So she runs all the stuff that I don't like to do. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I try to do only the things that I like to do, because then I'm really good at it, because I put a lot of effort into it. So she runs the company itself. I do all the formulations, I do all the taste testing, and I do all the education, which is, both jobs are very important, obviously, because if I just market and I just create stuff, but I don't run the company, then the company goes into the toilet bowl. So she's good at that, managing stuff and ordering stuff and making sure the inventory is in and sending out the orders. And I will never allow anyone else to formulate the products, because I, make sure that I put the best quality stuff out. Now, I'm open. I'm a very open book. I'm open to, I have had a lot of people give me suggestions. Hey, why don't you do this? Or why don't you try to incorporate this into your products? And I've researched it, and some things I followed up on and done, some things I haven't done because I felt it wasn't warranted. But yeah, and I feel that I'm the best guy to sell the products, in the sense that education sells the products. When you're going to sell, if you're going to sell a Ferrari, right, to someone, and you're going to charge that kind of money, you better be able to tell the people why this car is better. Not that it looks better only, but because it performs better. It's got better brakes. It's got better tires. It's cool. The interior is all leather. You got to be able to educate people why this car is so amazing, because you're spending a lot of money on it. So if someone's going to spend a little bit more money on my products, and they got to know why. And if I'm educating them as to why, then people have no problem doing that. People will spend money on themselves, no problem, but they won't waste money on themselves. So they want to know. And if you explain the science and you educate them and you teach them, they'll want to buy your products just to reward you for that great knowledge that you've given them that they didn't know before.
I do feel like that education and getting that to people as early as possible, from them stepping into the gym and going, oh, this supplement might give me that extra 2%. That is crucial. I mean, I look at the brands and the products that I was using when I first started to what I'm using now. And yes, I mean, my outgoings on supplements are through the roof compared to what it used to be. However, it's because I understand why it's worth that extra, $10, $20, whatever it is.
Right.
And because I do the things that you should be doing as someone who takes health seriously. Like, I'm getting blood work at least quarterly. I'm checking things like my blood pressure. I know where my blood glucose is. Right. If I was using poor quality supplements, that would be reflected in those things very quickly.
Yeah. I see people go out to restaurants and spend, $80 on a meal. Okay. Obviously people have money to spend. So if you might as well buy, if you're going to spend money on the best food, you might as well spend money on the best supplements that you're putting into your body. And I think that people sometimes don't get the perspective, but this is important. These nutritional supplements, from essential fatty acids to vitamins, minerals, trace metals, these are all cofactors in all the chemical reactions in our body. So when your body wants to oxidize fat or burn fat, or your body wants to build muscle and repair muscle tissue, all these processes require these vitamins and minerals as cofactors. If you're engaging in a lot of working out, you're breaking down an enormous amount of muscle and oxidizing an enormous amount of fat in the gym, you have an increased need over like what the average person who doesn't do anything all day needs. So if you're not providing your body with the extra vitamins, minerals, and essential fats, and you're not getting absorbable forms of them, you're actually limiting your body's ability to get lean and to build muscle. So if that's the goal and you're spending all this money on food and you're training hard and you're sleeping and doing everything you're supposed to do, and then you're not getting enough of these minerals and vitamins and essential fatty acids, you're actually cheating yourself. It's silly, and people don't even know that. They don't understand. They think they can get enough of this stuff in the food that they're eating, and the sad truth is that's just impossible, you know.
And I think it's quite difficult to see as well. It is something that catches up on you over time. I mean, if I go out and I mess up on my diet, the scales are going to be up, my digestion might be off, whatever it is. If I miss gym for the week, I'm probably going to look a bit soft. I'm not going to have as much pump to myself. If I'm deficient in vitamin D, it's probably not going to be obvious within a few weeks. It's going to be something that
long term,
over time, I'll be like, I feel rubbish. I really feel rubbish. I still feel rubbish until you dig and dig and dig and find out what that root cause is.
Right. I mean, you can't make red blood cells unless you have enough vitamin B12. And a lot of people don't even absorb vitamin B12 because they can't activate the stuff properly. Like in V Mineralized, for instance, we use, a methyl B12, methylcobalamin, it's called. It's the activated version of B12. So when you take it, even if your body can't activate it on its own and methylate it on its own, it's already done for you. And a lot of people, the research has shown can't. So this is something we're using, much higher end products in our multivitamin than most companies do. And most people don't even realize that because they don't know that there's a difference, So, likewise, I can't tell you how many people don't have good thyroid function just because they don't take enough iodine in, because nowadays everyone uses sea salt because they think it's so much better for you. But regular table salt you buy in a supermarket is iodized. So there's no one's getting enough iodine in their diet. So we put a very healthy dose of sea kelp in V Mineralized so that the people get enough iodine in their diet so they can make thyroid hormone, which is obviously what controls your metabolism. So there's so many different little nuances to, take for chromium, for instance, a chelated form, the term chelation means that they bind these minerals to amino acids. And the importance of that is that amino acids get cleaved or digested in the stomach, and you can absorb those minerals right through your stomach lining. If you don't get enough chromium in your diet, okay, your body can't utilize insulin properly because insulin is required to push glucose, sugar, basically into the cells so they can use them as fuel. But if you don't have enough chromium, then insulin doesn't work. And if insulin's not working because there's not enough chromium there, your body thinks there's not enough insulin. So your body starts producing more and more insulin. And as we know, if you have too much insulin, you have a much higher propensity to get fat. So, if you're not taking in an absorbable form of chromium, you theoretically could sabotage your weight loss, efforts. And so these are all things, once again, they go hand in hand and people don't know. And you don't even need to know the science. What I did was I took all the guesswork out of all this for you. And I actually put this formula together in the right dosages with the right absorbable ingredients. And I put it all in one bottle, essentially. So you don't even have to think, just take it and you're getting the right stuff. I already did all the hard research and work. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it yourself, but it just means I've done the legwork for you already.
See, for me, immediately, I've got a million questions off the back of that because a few of those things are things that I do take separately. Like for me, I'm a big fan of 400 micrograms of chromium cholinate, usually before my last meal, as well as metformin. Yeah, because that is a big sort of area of interest for me. But to have that product that has the lot.
Well, you don't even need it. If you take V Minerals, you don't even need to take extra chromium. And the funny thing is, because of that science I just explained to you, that chromium is a cofactor to enable insulin to work properly, people think chromium burns fat, but it doesn't burn fat. It just, if you have enough of it, then insulin works properly. If you don't have enough of it, insulin doesn't work properly. So taking more of it is not going to make you burn fat better or make your insulin work better. It only helps if you're deficient in it. And so that's why, rather than having 16 bottles lined up on your counter of your kitchen, you have one product that has everything you need in there in the right dosages. And so there's enough calcium, magnesium, so your muscles can contract and relax, the magnesium being the relaxation agent. Obviously having enough, the right like chromium and iodine and all these different minerals and vitamins that your body requires to do all these chemical reactions, super important. Blueberry extract is like dynamite when it comes to antioxidants, and for keeping your body healthy and your immune system healthy, and we put that in there too. So I sat down and figured out how much stuff I can put into this product and still keep it in 10 pills or less, and that's what you get in Demineralize.
And I can't even imagine what it would cost to get the same dosage of each ingredient from separate
You'd spend
products.
a fortune. Yeah, you spend a fortune. Yeah.
I don't suppose you have any hints for us, future plans for any products that you've got in the works right now? Anything else to do with the brand? Any events or anything coming up?
Yeah. We just came out with. I don't know if you guys have gotten our coffee isolized yet flavor?
I've not seen it ever yet.
You talk about coffee. If you like milk in your coffee, this is not like a dark coffee. This is, you're going to swear you're drinking a cup of coffee with milk in it. There's 28 grams of protein per scoop size, per serving size. So it's a 33-gram scoop size, 28 grams of protein. You cannot extract any more protein out of that. That's the highest yield you can get. And I'm telling you, this stuff tastes like a cup of sweet coffee. And if you're a coffee drinker, you guys will absolutely love this. It's that good. And it actually has caffeine in it. So you actually get a little, not a lot. It's like, I think it's 61 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, per serving. So a lot of guys take 2 servings. That's 120 grams of caffeine, essentially. If you take 1, you get 60 grams. And I'm telling you, it's a sustained caffeine. You feel really good. You don't crash from it. You feel really good on it. That's one of our newest products that just came out. That along with the iced tea, Amino Evolved. We got, like I said, the pre-workout is relaunching. The new one is going to be called Stimulize. It's a nootropic formula also. So doesn't have a ton of stimulants in it, but it has that mental focus, feel good in your brain type of thing, where you just take it and you just feel you're in a good mood. It's almost like an antidepressant. It's so good. And that product I'm pretty proud of. It's a pre-workout. It tastes really good. It's got it's got your citrulline, for nitric oxide release. You've got your beta alanine for endurance, and then of course you got that mental focus aspect of that. That took, like I said, it took me 2 years to formulate that thing. We must have tried at least 100 variations before we finally got the right ratio of the ingredients to really do what we wanted to do. So that'll be out hopefully in the next 3 to 4 months. But it's funny. I can formulate a product in a week, and then making the labels and putting everything together takes forever, months. It's crazy. Especially with compliance and everything like that. And then now with COVID, there's a shortage of tubs and tops and labels. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've done it. You send a formula off, like, okay, great, let's get the market materials. Right. Let's make up some things for social media. And then like, oh, well, actually, we've got to ship this in from China.
Yeah, we need 18 weeks to make this product. Yeah, exactly. It's nuts.
The label designer's gone missing, so that's going to be another 4 months. And you're like, oh, okay, well, we're really excited, but never mind.
Yeah. That's why I don't even get excited about it. I don't even think about it. I don't even tell that many people about it. I just put it out there, and whenever it gets made and it comes out, then I make a big deal about it. So I'm just giving you guys a little sneak preview. That's all.
So you've not shared the full panel for this yet. It's going to be
a
surprise for now.
Yeah. There will be full transparency of the label, so you'll know exactly how much each ingredient is in there, because I believe in full transparency. I don't hide anything. I don't try to make these secret formulas. Here it is. This is it. This is what works, and use it.
I will look forward to getting a good look at that one then.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be getting a tub.
Yeah, we'll send you a complimentary tub so you can try it and let us know how you like it.
Please, I'm absolute pre-workout monster. Especially, you'll know, as you get further in dieting, you rely on that. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even have pre-workouts, and like I said, I relied on Starbucks Americano, iced Americanos. But yeah, nowadays, if I was competing nowadays, I would definitely especially while I'm dieting, I would definitely be using a pre-workout, no doubt.
I've got into a habit as well where if I'm training upper body, I need to have a pump product as well as a stim pre-workout. It's just like a mental thing now. Like, I need both.
It takes the edge off the hunger. And I think that's, I always notoriously in my off season would limit my caffeine intake because I didn't really need it. If I was tired, I would nap because I felt that was my body telling me I need more sleep. But pre-contest, you got to get to the gym, you got to do your cardio, and you just need something to take that hunger away and wake you up a little bit. And I think that's where the pre-workouts and the energy drinks come in a little handy. And if you use them as tools and you don't over or abuse them, I think they're fine to use. I think a lot of people, the problem is they start getting a little carried away because they want to do more and more and more. And then what happens is they don't even get stimulated anymore from it, but their heart rate goes up and their stress level goes up and anxiety goes up, and that's not good. So you don't want to overdo these things for sure.
Yeah, you end up so sympathetically driven constantly. Your sleep's in the absolute gutters. Yeah, your body looks stressed. Yeah, I've been there, learned from that one.
Yeah.
Just to go into, I guess, the final section of our chat, and then we will let you go. We have had a few questions submitted in, so I will fire a few of those at you if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a few from, I believe, one of your clients, Dan Lias, is it?
Mm-hmm.
He's asked why you are still coaching, I guess, with everything else you've got going on business-wise.
I ask myself that sometimes, and I probably wouldn't do it if I didn't really like it. I really enjoy working with people and helping them change the way they look and their body and improving their health and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time out of my day because I'm answering emails all day long, and if like today, I had a free day in the sense I didn't have to record anything for RX Muscle, but I was just doing a lot of interviews with people, and so now I'm going to be up all night doing emails because I don't go to sleep at night until I answer every email. So it is busy. It does take me a lot of time to do, but I feel that number one, I like doing it. So I do things that I like. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. And number two, it really gives me a way to stay in touch with the people that compete and the people who, are on the ground. And so those are the people who are my best referrers. So if I'm working with someone and I'm giving them knowledge and they're passing the knowledge on, and I'm giving them supplements to take and educating them on the science of everything, they're going to pass that information on to other people, which is good because it's teaching the next generation. But it's also good because it's a grassroots way to spread the word about what you're doing and your product line. And I think that to me, that's always been the most important way to organically grow your brand, by actually having people who use the products and see the benefits of them tell other people about that. And the only way for me to stay connected to that is to stay connected to the people who are actually competing. Once I regress and go away from that and kind of lock myself in my attic of my house and don't really talk to people, then I'm disconnected. I don't know what the people want. I can't educate people. And that's, I'm a people person. I don't like to isolate myself and live in a bubble,
And I would assume as well, where you're at, with career and everything, you can be quite selective with who you work with. If someone inquires and you're not feeling it, there's no real rapport there, they're not someone that you want representing you can pass them on to somebody else and go with people who you really resonate with.
I haven't turned away too many people. There's only been a couple of crazy people that I have not worked with. I'll really work with anyone. I have some regular people who don't even weight train. They just want to lose weight. They're just fat. And, maybe one of my clients, it's like their Aunt Stella or something like that, is overweight and has diabetes and she needs to lose weight. And I'm working with her. You would think it's almost like it's like a funny type of coach, client thing, because here I am working with an Olympia level bodybuilder. And then I'm working with this woman who doesn't even work out. She just wants to be healthier and lose weight. And to me, I like that diversity. I like the fact, because you know what, if I get her to lose 50 pounds, she will be so happy and she will be the best she'll refer 100 of her friends to me. Okay. Because she didn't think she could ever do it. And now all of a sudden I've given her the tool set and the motivation, and I've changed her life. And so to me, that's very gratifying,
That's actually a big surprise to me. I imagined you taking on, the 280, 300-pound open bodybuilders. Right?
I don't turn anyone away. I will work with anyone. I've worked with some very, very odd people over the years. And you know what? Sometimes I've made some really good friends with people that I never expected. Sometimes I think, well, you know what? I'll try to work with this person. Maybe it's not going to work out. And then, and they're tough at first. And once I break them and get them in a good routine and they start seeing results really motivate people. And if you can motivate people that are unmotivatable, those people that no one wants to work with, and you can get results out of them, that's, to me, is like amazing. I feel great when I can do that, because it's like I got through to them and no one else could.
Yeah, there's people who on paper are uncoachable.
There is a few people I've given their money back to, believe me.
This
and I know a
leads
lot
us
of
in
coaches
quite
that don't.
nicely to another question.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't give money back. Like, if you don't like the way they work, sorry, But I've had some people that I've worked with for a couple of days, and I've just like, I knew it wasn't going to work, and I'm like, you know what, I'll give you money back. Don't worry about it. I want people to. I always think the customer should be happy. Now, if I work with you for 6 weeks, I'm not giving you money back. But if I work with you for 6 days, and it's just, I could tell the person's not ready to go to that place where they need to make the results, get the results they want, I'm just like, you know what, I'll refund your money. Don't worry about it. But very infrequently do I have to do that.
So what is the stupidest thing you've had a client do that you haven't asked them to do?
You know what? The stupidest things are probably the people who put like condiments on their food that are loaded with sugar, fats. That's a typical thing. I catch a lot of people that, I'm helping someone lose weight and they're not losing any weight, and I keep giving them more cardio and cutting back stuff, and they're not losing weight. Matter of fact, they're gaining weight. And I'm like, I got to like tell them, you know what? Can you please write me a food diary? I want to know everything going in your mouth over the next 24 hours, liquids, condiments, foods. And invariably, I always catch what's going on. They'll be like, oh, I'm using this so-and-so's hot sauce. And I'm like, well, give me the label. And I'll look it up on Amazon, and I'll be like, there's like 4 different sugars in there. And they're like using a bottle every day. And of course, you're not losing weight. So people do stupid stuff. I don't even know if they're doing it unconsciously or consciously, and they think they can get away with it, because because if you give them a diet that says this many ounces of chicken, this many grams of rice, and this many grams of, of vegetables, they think if they're doing that, then everything else is fine. In other words, they can pour whatever the crap they want on top of the stuff. Well, I'm using this. I can't believe it's not butter. It's 0 calories. No, it's 0 calories for like 1 spray. It's oil. If you open up the top and you pour the oil, you pour all the contents on your food, you've just added hundreds of calories of fat to your diet, and of course you're not going to lose weight when you do that. So people do stupid. That's probably the typical stupid, mistake people make, adding the wrong condiments to their food.
Yeah, I had a good one recently. For my more lifestyle type people, we don't like Whey veg or anything. You get to have a little bit of freedom with that. So I'll be like, just have a consistent amount of green veg, things like, tender stem broccoli, asparagus, spinach, iceberg lettuce. I found out that her green veg was avocado.
Oh my God.
Avocado with every meal.
That'll add a bunch of fat calories for sure.
Oh yeah, that'll fatten you up real quick.
Some people don't weigh their food either. That's another dumb thing. Like, they're supposed to be eating, 5 ounces of protein, and they're actually, when they actually finally weigh the product that they've been eating every day, it's actually like 10 ounces. Yeah. So they think that they're not. If you ask them if they're cheating, they say no, because they're eating the food that you told them to eat. They're just not telling you that they're eating way more than they should be of the food you tell them to. So that's a problem too.
I've got a bit of a deep one, but one that I wanted to ask because I'm very interested myself, from Jack Forburn, who's a natural bodybuilder in the UK, very good at what he does. Mm-hmm. He's asked, what would you change in your bodybuilding career / pro card attempts?
It's a good question. I always say that there are no mistakes in my life, that everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. And I just answered this question really on what's his Mark Bell's podcast, but I probably would. I always thought that, your physique spoke for itself, that the best physique won. And I didn't realize that there was a political component to bodybuilding, meaning that, judges judge what they see, and, they're politically influenced a lot of times. And for some reason, I just never really got involved in making friends with the right people. The irony is that I'm friends with all the right people after I stopped competing, because I started doing guest poses for people, and I met a lot of people. And then I, of course, did coverage of all the shows for the promoters and for the people that run, all the organization. And I became friends with everyone afterwards. If I would have been friends with them before, I probably would have gotten the nod, because when it's close, who are you going to pick? You're going to pick the person or the person that maybe is friends with you. That's just human nature. So I never really got into politically involved. I think if I would have, done the right thing and realized that there was a political component. It's like someone running for president and saying, well, I'm the smartest guy in the nation. I can run the country the best, and I'm the most qualified. And they might be, but they don't go out and campaign and actually get people to actually like them and want to vote for them. They're not going to win the election, right? Even though they might be the most qualified person. So that I think I was a victim of that. And because I just assumed if I showed up at the biggest and in the best shape, that I was going to win. And I learned the hard way that wasn't the case.
I had this conversation today, actually, and I mean, it trickles all the way down to the amateur levels, as you'll know. I think judges, I'm sure they don't mean to, I'm sure it's not intentional, do a lot of time have biases from, brands that they've seen someone work with, or posing coaches, or persona that's put across on social media.
Right.
And so unless that person is absolutely undeniable on stage, which, on an open bodybuilding stage at that national pro level,
right,
you're all going to be pretty incredible, so it's going to be quite a close call.
Sure,
those things do start to come into play without them maybe even meaning to.
It's human nature. It's not like if you run a race, whoever crosses the finish line first wins. So even if the guy everyone hates crosses the finish line first, he still wins. You can't take it away from him, you know what I mean, because he's the fastest. In bodybuilding, it's a beauty pageant, so everyone, likes different things and have different tastes. So you can rationalize anything.
I will throw one final one at you as it's relevant to the times. Nick Walker versus Blessing drama. Do you think that this sort of rivalry is good for promoting the sport or faking unnecessary drama?
I think it's great for promoting the sport. I love the drama because you know what? At the end of the day, the best guy is going to win. And they're at least making it exciting. So now we want to actually see these guys on stage posing down next to each other, having fun with it. I don't think either one of them did anything, which would be offensive or, hurt their brand. I think they're just breaking each other's balls a little bit. And I think that that's fun for the sport. Now, if they were doing really negative things about each other or trying to really, harm each other or their brand, that wouldn't be good for the sport. But a little playful jabbing here and there and making fun of each other, I think that works great, especially if they're both on board with it. You know what I mean? No, I don't think Nick or Blessing, I just interviewed Blessing the other day, I don't think either one of them were offended in any way whatsoever. I think they just found it, humorous, and they kind of got the idea that they were both playing into each other and just creating some drama. It's good for the sport. I think any kind of drama is good for the sport in that sense. And as long as it's done in a constructive way and in a fun way, which it is.
Yeah, I would like to think that, when all's said and done backstage, they'll give each other a handshake and say, fair play, it was a good game. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. They probably all got a lot more social media followers just from doing all that drama too, which is good. So, and like I said, they're both great bodybuilders. So it's not like the worst bodybuilder is making fun of the best bodybuilder or vice versa. It's actually, they're two young guys coming up. They're going to be the future of the sport and break each other's balls. I love it. I think it's great.
And do you have either of them coming in first place at New York?
I think that Justin Rodriguez is going to beat everyone, to be honest with you. I think he's the most seasoned guy up there. But until I see Nick Walker on stage next to him, because Nick is really big, it's hard for me to make that call. But I think it's Justin's show to lose. I like Mohammed El Aman too, the guy who took second in Indy. I think him and Justin were neck and neck in that show. I think they're going to be top two again. And I think, but I do think that Nick Walker and I think Nick Walker and Blessing will definitely be in that top 5 though. And that's going to make it even more exciting. So I think, and then you got Hassan Mustafa. So it should be a great top 5 over there in New York.
I can't wait. I'm so
over there in Tampa. It's in Tampa, Florida. The New York Pro in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. It's a good start to the season, seeing, so much hype going into the shows.
Love it. I love it.
So exciting. I guess we will let you go because I know that you've got work lined up for the rest of the day. It's a lot earlier over there than it is here. But thank you so much for your time. I know we've been trying to arrange it the last few weeks and things haven't kind of worked out exactly. But honestly, the fact that we've managed to get this in has been amazing.
Anytime you need me, you call me and I'll come running. And guys, if you are in the Europe area and you need to get your species nutrition products, get them at predatornutrition.com. We'll make sure they're fully stocked.
We will hold you on that, and we will
Okay.
keep ordering.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Great talking to you. Bye-bye.
You too. Catch up soon.